Hi, Tony here. US equity markets finished higher on Friday and for the week, bolstered by fresh signs of progress towards a US Iran deal. That upside momentum has extended into the early stages of the new week after President Trump posted on social media over the weekend that a largely negotiated memorandum of understanding had been reached to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. US NASDAQ equity futures are trading 1.25% higher, and WTI crude oil futures have slipped about 4.7% to around $92.50 after the reopening this morning. Now, this comes despite many similar peace deals over the past 5 or 6 weeks failing to deliver a tangible outcome. Nonetheless, let's take a look at the charts of the NASDAQ and Dow Jones to see how they are lining up at the start of this new week. Okay, so what we can see here is this extraordinary rally from the March lows. It pushed up to this high in mid-May, 29,678, before a micro pullback into the first half of last week. The rebound since then has taken us back up towards this 29,660 level. And what that does do is give us a bit of a parameter to work with for the start of this new week. Now, remember, it is the Memorial Day long weekend, so the full floor sessions won't be taking place today. We need to wait until tomorrow to see how these news headlines are reflected in a full session for the floor. And what I'll be looking for is either one of two things. Firstly, we see a sustained break above this potential double top, confirmed on a closing basis over a 24 to 48 hour period, in which case the rally will most likely extend up towards 31,000, potentially further. But we need to see how the market reacts in terms of this double top. Because if we were to see a push higher and it closed back below there, it starts to look like we're making new highs, but failing to really push on. And that would warn that what you can see here is that after this extremely strong rally, we need to do some more time and take some a deeper pullback to really rebuild some energy before we can take that next leg higher. So for me, watching very, very closely to see how the market reacts when the floor opens, how we behave in terms of this potential double top, either looking for a clean break and close above there to signal the next leg higher has commenced, or if it were to come back below this double top, then potentially we're looking for another little period of sideways to corrective price action. For the Dow Jones, we've spoken about this for quite some time, how the S&P and the NASDAQ, they made fresh record highs back almost a month ago, 5 weeks ago. And the Dow Jones was a little bit stubborn, but it really never looked like it was going to pull back. You can see it pushed up, consolidated above this record high from February. And finally on Friday, we got that pop above that record high, which we've been waiting for. Not entirely convincing, but a pop nonetheless. So what we're watching again for is when the floor reopens this week, I would like to see, to confirm that potentially the Dow can push on, a break and close above this 50,835 high, in which case there's no reason why the Dow can't actually have a period of outperformance and head up towards 52,000, 52,500-ish. Conversely, if we were to see the Dow Jones really fail to accept the move we're seeing in the futures market this morning, then we may need to see a little bit more consolidation for the Dow Jones. Initially, you can see there's some support coming in at 50,500. And then, of course, at 50,000, huge psychologically important round number. But probably more important is this area of work we've done through here, coming in around 49,600 to 49,500. So they are the levels I'll be watching for this week. It is also important to remember that the market has had an extremely strong rally. Hopefully we caught some of this rally higher, because throughout this entire period here, we were looking at this as being a correction. It has pushed to new highs. That was the minimum objective. I don't have any sort of strong thoughts here at this point of time. The rally could keep going. It is most certainly due for a pullback, but it's just hard to pinpoint when that might play out. So that's how things stand at the start of this new week. Thanks for listening and have a good week ahead.